like I toured D12 and like I knew Proof and Bizarre and all those guys. This was before Proof died, and they got into a really big situation here in Toronto where they got in a massive fight with a bunch of gangsters that I knew, and Proof.
This is a story. Wait, we need to hear this one from the beginning.
Yes.
Well, I did D12 back in like whenever, like their last album, probably. I don't know. I'm guessing, but it was before Proof passed away. And I did this shady, my friend had this shady clothing brand in Canada, and we did a couple shows. I brought D12 in, and everybody, I never lied, I never promised it, I didn't hint it, but everyone thought M was coming on the show.
I mean, he's part of D12, but I digress.
Yeah, well, you're right. Amy's very bitter that he didn't come, but yeah.
Hey, I've seen, I know the D12 guys. I've seen Eminem plenty, but I'm just saying they are kind of a package deal, especially when Proof was still alive.
You're 100% right, but it was always made explicitly clear to me that M will not be coming unless he wants to. But there was like a 1% chance he'd come, and I never wanted to make any promises. So the artwork we had was a templated design they gave us, and wasn't on it. So they made it very clear not to make any insinuations, and I didn't. But the show sold out. So after the show, I used to run nightclubs at the same time. It was a Thursday night. I'll never forget this. So I set D12 up at this club I used to run in Toronto called Tonic. And they went out to Tonic. And
you used to run that place?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, go on. I don't interrupt. I've been drunk there many times. I
tell you stories about Drake and when he opened up for the Clips at Tonic back in 2009. So it's funny him and Pusha T have a beef, but he opened up for them. Anyways.
Yo, I didn't even thought about that when you said Clips. Oh, shit, eh? Okay, sorry. Go on. I don't want to ruin.
So anyways, the show was over. We had sold out show. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm eating Chinese food on King Shu or Spadine with a couple of friends. And I get a call from this like serious gangster dude I know, and he's yelling, but I can't make out what he's saying. So somebody grabs his phone. It's one of his buddies, and he's like, "Bro, where are they staying? Like, where are they staying? They're dead. They're dead. They're dead." And I don't know I had no clue what he's talking about. So he's like, "What happened?"
Wait, what year was this?
When did Proof die?
I'll
tell you why. Because we actually thought I actually thought my friend had something to do with Proof's death, to be honest with you.
Great. Fantastic. Fuck your friend. Go ahead.
Well, he didn't have anything to do with it. So
well, for good measure, anyway.
So whatever year he died, it was like a year or two before he died. I don't know what year, like 05, 06, around there.
Yeah.
So anyways.
He died in 2006, so it was April 11th, but go on.
When did he die?
2006.
So it would have been 05, the summer of 05 that this happened. It was a year before.
Okay.
Within a year of him passing. So anyways, long story short, my buddy went to go say hi to Proof. This guy was a serious dude. And he was just being nice to Proof because this guy actually was one of those gangster guys who want to be in the entertainment industry. So he was like, yo, blah, blah, blah. Proof was drunk. Proof said something. This guy said something. Proof said something. My other buddy said something, and Proof punched this guy in the face. When Proof punched this guy in the face, he broke his jaw, dislocated my friend's jaw.
Oh.
And like this guy at the time was like a big deal in the city. He was a serious gangster. I mentioned that multiple times. So like it turned into a thing where 20 guys beat the shit out of D12 in Tonic and on the streets, to the point where the bouncers literally were jumping on Proof and the other guys so that all these other guys were beating them up. Because back in those days, if you remember, Jason, there was Tonic at the corner and there was System Soundbar. And System Soundbar had a pretty rough crowd on Thursdays. So this crew of guys just had a bunch of guys that knew them. Like there's probably 30 guys out there, and they just jumped D12, beat the crap out of them, and they're all getting beat up. So D12's manager at the time was actually from Toronto.
Who was their manager at the time?
Andre, my buddy Andre. He's now passed away. So Andre passed away, he, natural causes, but he was originally from Toronto, and he was, on the road. So they're calling me, where are these guys? I know you brought them, what hotel they staying at? So I'm like, oh man, now I'm going to get pulled into this. So I lied. I was just like, look, man, I don't book their hotels. I just give them the money. We don't know what I'm lying. I'm just making it up. So as I'm saying this, I'm trying to figure it out what to do because I'm kind of put on the spot. So what I did is I lied to my friend. I go, they usually stay here. And I told them a hotel at a completely separate end of downtown. But they had a big tour bus that was wrapped. So it's not hard to find a massive tour bus at some point. And so I mean, as big as Toronto is, there's only 5 at the time. This is before there was like a Ritz. It was before there was a Shangri-La. It was before there was, you know, these high-end hotels. There's only 2 or 3 high-end hotels. So you knew they were staying at 1 of 3 places. So I'm calling Andre at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, Andre, do you trust me? I knew him for a while. He's like, I trust you. I said, you got to get the fuck out of town. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, like proof broke the jaw of the wrong guy. And I'm telling you, like, they're not joking around. And I told them to go to this hotel. I've probably bought you guys about 20 minutes, maybe 30. 3:30 in the morning, D12 ducked it out of town. And they knew it was real because the fight in the club, they saw what happened. Like the bouncers saved them and literally were calling the police to get them to the hotel. And then I was able to kind of explain to them, like, guys, I don't know what happened. I still didn't really know what happened. I found it afterwards. It was so bad that the guy whose jaw he dislocated, just to give you an example, called me a couple weeks later and said, how much did you pay D12 for the show? And I was like, I think at the time it was like 25, 30 grand. And he was like, tell them I'll give them $60,000 to do a show in Toronto.
Nope.
Oh.
And he was serious. I said, no. And I was like, listen, I go, no, dude, I'm not doing that. Don't get me involved. It's done with, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then about a year later, he passed away. And then I was thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, this guy still hold out this grudge and do something in Detroit. He didn't, obviously. But yeah, that was my like D12 story. That was like